All right, there we go. If you want to play music, go for it. You will not interrupt. All right, if you have taken this class before, this warm-up is nothing new. The warm-up has been the same all 3 weeks. Next week, we'll start a new warm-up with new exercises. So a lot of these exercises are the same if you've done this workout, this tribe core with me in the past 3 weeks. Okay, there are 6 exercises. I'm actually gonna take you through all 6 of them. You're gonna do them with me just so you can iron out any kinks. And then the formula for our warm-up will be 30 seconds each exercise twice through. Okay, so no breaks in between. We just smoothly go from one exercise to the other. Okay, first exercise is a lateral lunge. None of these are very tricky or crazy. Take a step out to the side, drive with the hip back, keep the weight in the heel, the spine long, and then back to center. So you're doing this with me, side to side, keep the spine long, shift the hips back, take a peek down every time you lunge into that leg. See if you can make sure you see those toes. And then you can add a reach. And then once we're warmed up, a little shuffle in between will get the heart rate up, okay? So this is an option as we get a little bit more warmed up. So this is our lateral lunge. We will use this in our workout as well as our warm up. All right, next one, mountain climbers. Probably all familiar with mountain climbers. You're gonna start in a plank position, okay? Make sure you set up yourself in a plank position. If you need to modify, you can grab a chair and come up onto a chair. Shoulders down the back, belly pulled in, and then you're gonna drive one knee at a time. Now, the way to intensify this would be pace, right? Keeping that form of the plank, hips aren't moving, bobbing up and down, nice and steady. Those are our mountain climbers. Okay, scorpion bridges. We're on our back. This is very helpful to have something soft under your shoulders. Start position is bent knees, feet flat on the ground, heels scoot all the way close to the sit bones, hands over the elbows. You're gonna lift your hips up into a bridge. As you do that, you're gonna reach across your body 45 degrees and then back down. Up into a bridge, reach across. When you come down out of that bridge, pull your heels towards your body so that you don't increase your footprint here. And that'll also engage your hamstrings, okay? You can add little weights to your hands here after the warm up, okay? So these are the scorpion bridges, back and forth. All right, next one. We are on our feet. It's a squatting pattern using a rotational manner. Okay, so 12 o'clock, I'm right towards the camera. I'm gonna open up my foot pattern to a 3 o'clock, drop down into a squat, back to 12 o'clock. Open up into 9 o'clock, drop down into a squat, back to 12 o'clock. So back and forth here. Your knees are gonna be open, out wide, same with your toes. Make sure that you're driving down with the hips and the belly's pulled in tight, especially at the lowest point of your squat. Back and forth. I'm just gonna kind of take a look at you guys while you're doing it. Good, make sure that both feet are planted on the ground before you come into your squat. Okay, so there's a transverse squat. Next one is a side plank driver. So as the name suggests, you are in a side plank position. Elbow down. Push that ground away from your ear. This is option 1 for the legs. Notice I have a knee down. I'm nice and long from the crown of my head all the way down to my toes, and my ear is pushed away from my ear. My shoulder is pushed away from my ear. Good. This is option 1. Option 2, top leg staggers back behind. A little more body weight, a little harder. Your free arm reaches 45 degrees and then back up. Your hip also is gonna rotate and then back up to center. Okay? Maintaining that nice long spine, getting that rotation of the hip, pulling it back to center, switch sides. Okay, so for this one, we will be splitting our time right and left. So keep going, a few more on the other side. I can see some of you, looks good. Okay, so those are your side plank drivers. We have one more, stay on the ground. Okay, these guys are called torso rolls. This is really just a preparation for movement. It's not necessarily an exercise. Start in a superwoman position, superman position. You're gonna open up the left arm, anchor the left knee, open up the torso. Okay, so this is just a movement preparation. Okay, right arm opens, knee anchors, open up. And then you just begin to find a little fluidity. It does not need to happen fast. Okay, and really just take your range of motion slowly here. So back and forth, right to left, and then reversing out of it. Okay, so those are your torso rolls. All right, those are the 6 exercises. Any questions on any of that? You guys all good on those? Okay, sounds good. Let's get started. Okay, so just a reminder, the formula here for warm-up, 30 seconds, each exercises, no break between. We're gonna go through those 6 exercises 2 times, starting with lateral lunges in 10 seconds. Okay, so lateral lunges, mountain climbers, scorpion bridges, trans squat, side planks, and torso rolls. Ready? Go, side to side. This is warm up, so no need to, really drive the pace unless you're already warmed up. Driving back with those hips, belly pulled in, and you can add a reach if you like. Keep your hands on the hips. Okay, we're already halfway through here. Mountain climbers are next. Side to side. Good, you guys are looking great. Make sure that hip stays in line with the knee. All right, mountain climbers, coming down onto the ground, finding your plank position, and then driving those knees in, one at a time. Belly pulls in, shoulders pull down the back. And again, this is warm up. No need to push the pace too much. 10 seconds. We're gonna stay on the ground for scorpion bridges. Keep going, driving those knees forward. All right, coming onto the back. Setting up for scorpion bridges. Driving those hips up, reaching across 45. Coming back down, pulling in with the heels. Finding that rhythm of side to side. Really pulling in those glutes as you come up into that bridge. Side to side with the reach. 5 seconds here. And then we're coming onto our feet for those transverse squats. All right, on your feet. This is part of the workout, floor to standing. Open up 3 o'clock, squat down to 12 o'clock. Open up 9 o'clock, squat down, 12 o'clock. Back and forth. If you happen to have a heavier weight during the workout, you can use a heavier weight for this motion, for this exercise. 5 more seconds here, and then we're on our side plank drivers. All right, come into a side plank. Remember, you can drop a knee or stagger that top leg. Only half time here. So you only get like 10 seconds for this one side. 15 seconds, I guess, to be accurate. Switch sides, try to do that nice and smoothly so you can get right into that other side. We're gonna stay on the mat for those torso rolls next. 3, 2, 1. On your belly, Superman, Superwoman style. Open up the arm, anchor the knee, open up the chest, reverse out of that. Switch sides. Remember, these don't need to be fast. Nice, smooth and controlled. Okay, this is ending our first round. We're gonna be back on our feet for lateral lunges in right now. All right, getting up off the ground, however you can and quickly, side to side. All right, if you're feeling warmed up, totally add in that little hop in the middle. I like to add in a reach side to side, 15 seconds. Mountain climbers are next. Side to side, keep that belly in. If you're speeding it up, make sure you're really focusing on your form. All right, mountain climbers, find that plank. Be strong in your plank. Drive one knee at a time. Maybe challenging just a little bit of speed. You know, now that we've moved a little bit, 15 seconds. Scorpion bridges are next. Driving that knee in, one at a time. Don't let those shoulders creep up to the ears. All right, transition onto the back. Scorpion bridges. Lift those hips, reach 45. Pull the heels in towards the body as you come down, side to side. Make sure you're getting that bridging action as you lift the hips and reach. We're coming onto our feet for the trans squats in 5 seconds. Side to side. All right, here we go. On our feet. Trans squat, opening up, 3 o'clock, dropping down. Tailbone stretches to the mat every time you squat. Really make sure both feet are firmly planted and weighted before you squat. 10 seconds more. Side plank drivers are next. 3, 2, 1. Side plank drivers. Get right into it. We only do half and half here, right and left. Getting that reach, letting that top hip rotate towards that reach, pulling to center, switch sides. Try to do that nice and smoothly so that you take advantage of the time here. Last one is torso rolls. All right, flop down onto the mat. Open up the arm, anchor the knee, open up the chest. Reverse out. Find a nice fluid movement from side to side. 10 more seconds, and then our warm-up is done. Side to side. All right, I'm gonna finish that last one. There we go. Okay, peel yourself up off the ground, grab a quick drink, and then just come to the screen so you can hear about what the workout is going to entail. Okay, so this 3 weeks, all these exercises have been really similar, right? We've added in a few, but we've always done something different in how the workout is set up, okay? So today we're on an interval base. So our formula is 45 seconds on, 15 seconds rest, and transition between exercises. I have 9 exercises, okay? Those 9 exercises will go through 45 seconds, 15 seconds rest, all the way through, no extra breaks until the end. You'll get 2 minutes at the end. We're gonna do that 3 times through, okay? All right. Trying to think here. The first round, instead of demoing all of the exercises, because so many of them are almost the same as our warm-up, we're just gonna use that first round to get to know the exercises, okay? All right, so the first one, you know, it's a transverse squat. Okay, so we're gonna start in 10 seconds, well, let's say 15, so I can get my timer up. Okay. So trans squats are first, and we're starting in 10. So if you wanted to add a little bit of weight at the chest level for this, you can feel free to do so. All right, here we go. Opening up, squatting down, coming back to center. Okay, we've got 45 seconds here. Okay, this is where we work hard. So find ways to push your edge here, right? Build strength and stability and conditioning. We have to push our edge. So if that means adding a little bit of weight or maybe trying to speed it up, but keeping the integrity in the form, do so. This is first round through. We've got 3. 10 seconds here, and then we're going to the side plank drivers, which we've already done. Those side plank drivers, it'll be 20 seconds and 20 seconds. Here we go. You have 15 seconds in between. So take the time to set yourself up. You're coming into a side plank. You either have that bottom leg dropped or the top leg is staggered behind. Here we go. Reaching, pulling back to center. Keep those hips high. Don't let them drop. You're just letting them rotate a bit with that reach. 15 more seconds here, and then we're switching sides. All right, here we go. Switch sides. Nice and smoothly. You can take advantage of the time we have left here. Step bridges are next. So we'll be on the ground. And 5 seconds here. All right, coming down onto the ground. Step bridges look like this. We still have a little bit of break time, 8 seconds still. You're gonna come up into your bridge, palms are up, and you're gonna lift 1 foot at a time. Okay, all right, our 45 seconds has started. So get into that bridge position. If it's too much to lift the foot completely, just come light into that foot. If you're good, hold that foot up for just a few seconds at the top and make your hips really have to bear that weight only on one side. Palms are facing up. You got 15 seconds here. And then we have step lunges, which are on our feet, and it's just a lunge forward. 5 seconds. Lifting one leg at a time. All right, coming up onto our feet. Step lunge is just what it sounds like. Lunge, back to center. Tailbone and hips stay neutral and square to the front. Okay, you can intensify this by making it a little bit more of a scissor jump. Those will pack a punch. All right, here we go. 45 seconds has started. Feel free to go back and forth between the scissor jump and then step jumps. So if you get a little bit tired here with the scissor jumps, just go back to that stepping motion. Keep the belly pulled in, torso upright. Prone twists are next. That'll be in a tabletop position on the floor. We've got 8 seconds here. Driving through that front heel to come back to center. All right, prone twists. They look like this. You're gonna start in a tabletop position. Tuck the toes and lift the knees to a hover. Your hips are gonna drop side to side. Okay, 45 seconds. Keep the shoulders down the back. Drive with the hips and not the knees. So the knees aren't moving to the left, it's the hips that are dropping. Again, speed doesn't really do you any favors here. It's the controlling of this motion side to side that's gonna do it. 20 seconds. And then we have straight up bridges next. 10 seconds. Keeping those knees low to the ground every time you come through center. 3, 2, 1. On the ground, straight up bridges. Okay, we got a couple more seconds of break. In your bridges, I want you to use a pelvic tilt. So low back, flatten to the ground, scoop the hips up, find your bridge, and then roll it back down in reverse. 45 seconds has started, let's go. Rolling it up and rolling it down. You can only increase the speed if you can maintain that rolling up and rolling down. And it's actually kind of hard to do with speed. 20 seconds. And then we'll be back on our feet for lateral lunges, which we did in the warm-up. 10 seconds. Rolling up and down, really pulling those heels towards your body. Get the hamstrings. All right, up on our feet. Move anything out of the way. We've got lateral lunges. So we have 3 more exercises for this round, then you get a little break after. All right, here we go. Lateral lunge. You can add that little hop in between. Make sure you're driving back with the hips. Belly stays in. Torso stays long. You can play around with, if you've got the room, see how far you can travel. Or maybe shorten it up, but speed it up. 20 seconds. We have hip extensions next, which will be in a seated position. 15 seconds. Sure you can hear me breathing. I hope you guys are breathing. 5 seconds. All right, hip extensions. They look like this. One hand planted behind the hip, both feet planted on the ground. So think bridging with the hips and reaching 45. All right, let's try it out. Only half of the time is on the right, half on the left. So get right to it. Really push those hips up as you reach across. Hips up. Good, keep the shoulder away from the ear. You gotta protect your shoulder. All right, switching sides. So now the left hand comes down and it's the right hand reaching. That reaching hand always comes back between the knees as a reset, and the hips touch down just ever so lightly. Scorpion bridges are next in 3 seconds. And they look a lot like this, but they're in a bridge on the ground. All right, scorpion bridges look like this. You can add small weights. Oh, we did them in the warm-up. What am I talking about? So you can add small weights if you want. 45 seconds starts now. Lift and reach. So this is very similar to the exercise we just did in terms of movement pattern. Really lift those hips, pull those heels in as the hips come down, and get that reach. Side to side. 25 seconds. And after this one, we get a few minute break before we do it all again. Side to side, finding a little bit of speed if you can control that form. Keep going. 5 seconds. And done. All right. Grab a drink of water, maybe a towel off. We've got a couple minutes of break before we do that again. I'm gonna unmute you. How's everybody doing? We doing okay? All the exercises okay? All right, I'm gonna assume no news is good news. All right, grab a drink. So next round, all the same exercises, same order, 45 seconds on, 15 seconds to switch. Take a break in between. All right. About 30 more seconds. We're starting with the transverse squats. Remember, you can add some weight at your chest if you're able to keep the belly in and really keep that form dialed in. All right, here we go. I'm gonna mute you guys one more time. And we are starting in 10 seconds. So I'm gonna add a little bit of weight to mine. This is 20 pounds. If you're adding weight, just make sure that you take your your pace slower at first. Here we go, 45 seconds. So kind of feel out your range of motion with added weight, your form, dial it in, and then you can pick it up if you feel like you can. Making sure that you're getting that rotational movement in your squat, opening up like you're on a clock. 20 more seconds here. Side plank drivers are next. 10 seconds. This is the beginning of round 2. All right, side plank drivers. I'm gonna modify my side plank drivers just so you can see. And these guys can be really helpful. You've got 5 more seconds. To modify, I'm gonna drop my bottom knee, nice long line. Here we go. Reach 45, back to center. Letting that top hip rotate as you reach. Keeping the hips high. Try not to let them drop. Got a couple more seconds here before we switch sides. All right, switching sides, making it nice and seamless. Keep reaching, keep your low belly pulled in and your hips pushed up to the ceiling. Bridge steps are next. In 3 seconds. All right, all the way down onto the mat. Bridge position. You still have 7 seconds. If you wanting to get right into it, go for it. Remembering that this is a bridge, it's a maintained bridge with some steps. Here we go. Palms up, come into your bridge. Remembering you can be just light in the foot if picking up all the way is too tough. Know that you'll get there at some point. And if you're feeling pretty good, you can keep your hips level as you lift. Keep that lift for a few seconds. Keep that squeeze the butt. We've got 20 seconds. We'll be up on our feet for step lunges. 10 seconds. Keep that low belly pulled in. Protect your low back. 3, 2, 1. All right, up on our feet. And we're doing step lunges. That's just a step and a vertical drop, coming back to center. I want you to notice how both of my knees are at 90 degrees as I step, okay? And you can always make it a scissor kick. Here we go, 45 seconds has started. Back and forth, either stepping or scissor jumping. The landing is the same either way. Belly pulled in, chest up. 24 seconds. Prone twist, that's that tabletop position, is next in 10 seconds. Whew, my thighs are burning. 5 seconds. All right. Oh, I need the 15 seconds after that, geez. Okay, these are prone twists, remembering you're hovering knees, dropping the hips, keeping the knees low through center. All right, here we go. 45 seconds has started. Keeping that belly in. Knees stay low as you come through center. Shoulders down the back. 25 seconds. Bridges are next. Ten seconds. Last 5 seconds here. Come on, you can do it. Okay, on your back. Palms up. Heels pulled into the sit bones. Remember, we're using that pelvic tilt, low back. Pushes into the ground as you scoop the hips up. and then reverse. All right, 45 seconds has started. Remember, you're only adding speed if you can maintain that scooping up and rolling back down. Give a little curl in towards the body with the heels. We've got 20 seconds here. Lateral lunges are next. So we'll be getting up off our feet, onto our feet. 10 seconds. 5 more. Rolling up, rolling down, squeezing at the top. All right. To your feet. Lateral lunges. You're welcome to add a little bit of weight to your chest or speed it up from side to side, playing with maybe how far you're getting. All right, here we go. Belly in, chest high. Lead with the hips back. Good. Nice job, you guys. I like it. I can see all of you. Usually there's a handful of people that don't turn on their camera. 20 seconds. Side to side. You got this. Just keep moving. Hip extensions are next. We are in a seated position to start that one. 5 seconds. Side to side. Okay. Hip extensions. Seated. One hand planted on the mat right behind your hip. Feet planted. Free elbow between the knees. And we begin. Lift the hips, reach across. Really get those hips to raise up towards the ceiling. Now that we're warmed up, completely feel out your range here. Can you get a little higher with the hips? Maintain that distance of shoulder and ear on your planted hand. And now we switch. Keep going. Scorpion bridges are next. I'm going to add a little bit of weight to my scorpion bridge. Just 5 pounds in both hands. 6 seconds. All right. Last exercise of round 2. I'm adding a little bit of weight. Weight's going to stay right over my elbows. And I'm going to reach that weight 45 degrees as I bridge up. All right, here we go. Lifting up, reaching across. Now, if you're adding weight, just take it slow for the first couple, just to see how that weight changes your range of motion. So you want to play it safe. Once you figure out you're good to go, then start to dial it in, maybe with some speed. Make sure you're getting those hips pushed up to the top and that you're curling the heels towards the body as you come down. 10 seconds here. We get a little break. And then we do it one more time. Don't lose that bridge at the top. Almost there. All right. You've got a little bit of a break here. Grab some water, towel off. One more time around, all same exercises. How we doing? Everybody doing okay? You can give me the thumbs up if you want to. Thumbs up, all right, good. All right, excellent. Whose iPad there? What's your name? I don't know. The one with the Golden Gate Bridge behind you. What's your name?
Amy.
Amy. Oh, that's Amy.
Hey, I changed
Hey,
my
all of
back.
a sudden your iPad. All right. Okay, so now you're on your TV. I gotcha. All right. All right, one more round and then we have a mobility section afterwards. Okay, I'm going to mute you guys. Remember, we are starting in the transverse squat. If you're adding weight, grab that weight. All right, round 3. starting in 10. If you're using weight, make sure it's at your chest, your shoulders are pulled back and your belly is in. Here we go, transverse squat, opening up on that clock pattern. Making sure both feet are fully planted and weighted before you squat. Tailbone stretches down towards the ground as you squat. 20 seconds. This is the last time round, so if there's, a place where you can challenge yourself, do it. All right, that's why you showed up today. You want to get your money's worth, right? 10 seconds. And our next exercises are the side planks. Okay, I'm actually gonna weight my side plank. You only need one small weight for it. Setting up, if you've got both legs up, top leg is staggered back. Find that side plank, because here we go. Reach and roll, pull back to center. Make sure you keep space between the ear and the shoulder, pulling that shoulder blade down the back of your anchored arm. Couple more seconds on this side. And switch. Other side. Top leg anchored back or knee down. Get right into it. We have bridge steps next. Tap into that form. All right. On your back. Bridge position. Palms up. And we're going in 5, 3, 2, 1. Lift it up, bridge, and then march out the feet. Maybe playing with how long you lift that foot, or maybe not lifting all of your foot up quite yet. Make sure those hips stay level as you lift or come light into your foot. Pull that low belly in, helps protect your low back. We've got 20 seconds. Step lunges are next, so we'll be up on our feet. 6 seconds. All right, up on our feet. I did the scissor kicks last time and whew, I barely recovered. So I'm just gonna do my step lunges. Maybe I'll add some weight. Okay, so you can pick up the pace or add weight or just stick with the step lunge. We are beginning now here. Keep that belly in, chest high. Each knee is gonna be 90 degrees as you step. Drive out of that front heel to come back to center. And if you're scissor kicking, really hold the integrity of your form. We're over halfway. Prone twists are next. That's that tabletop position with the hovering knees. 5 seconds. All right. Onto the ground, tabletop position. Belly pulled in, shoulders down the back. On go, your knees will hover and your hips will roll side to side. Here we go, ready, go. Keep that belly in tight. Keep the knees as low as possible as you come through center. Try not to use any momentum here. So speed's not gonna do you any favors. Nice and slow and controlled. About halfway. Bridges are next. We're staying on the ground. Keep tabs on those knees. Don't let them come way up off the ground when you're coming through center. Check in with your shoulders. Last 6 seconds here. All right, on your back. Setting yourself up for bridge. Remember, we're using that pelvic tilt, the scooping up and rolling down. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Scooping it up, rolling it back down. Palms are up. Giving those heels a little tug towards the shoulders as you come up. Be honest with yourself if you're really using that rolling up and back down. Over halfway. Lateral lunges are next. 10 more seconds. Really getting that nice squeeze and extension up top. 5 seconds. All right, coming up onto your feet. Lateral lunges. Add weight or speed. All right, 3, 2, 1, here we go. And making sure that lunging leg, the hip stays right behind the knee. Keep that belly in, chest high, spine long. Approaching halfway here. We've got 2 more exercises and then we're done. Side to side here, finding that edge that's for you. Digging a little deep here. 10 seconds. Hip extensions are next. Started in a seated position. 3, 2, 1. All right. Coming into that seated position. Anchoring one hand just behind the hip. Feet flat on the ground. Free elbow between the knees. Here we go. Lift and extend through the hips as you reach across the body. Protect that shoulder, keeping it away from the ear. I'm going to be switching halfway, which is coming up in about 7 seconds. Getting full extension. All right, switching sides. We have scorpion bridges next, which will complete our last final round. And I'm going to add weight again to my scorpion bridges. 7 seconds here. Get the most out of it. All right. Setting up for scorpion bridges. I'm going to grab my weight. Lightweight here, nothing too heavy. I wouldn't go higher than 8. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Make sure those hips are lifting. Heels are pulling back towards you as you come down. Only add in speed if you can control the movement. This is it, folks. Last 26 seconds here. Reach and roll. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. Get that lift of the hips every time. Squeeze of the glutes. 3, 2, 1. Breathe, flop down on the ground. Eventually, get up, grab a drink. So now we have just a short mobility circuit to just help you kind of walk out the door and not get all tight. Okay, so I'm going to give you just a few seconds here to grab a drink and walk it off if you've, lost your breath a little bit. We want to kind of let our heart rate come down naturally just a little bit. So if you've done this class before, you'll notice that the mobility exercises at the end are also the same every time. Okay? Okay, first exercise for mobility. Standing nice and tall. Right leg steps back, just a little step. Shift those hips back, bend through the right leg, reach across the body, right hand to left foot. Come back up, little extension through the hip, switch side, left foot steps back, bend through that left knee, hinge from the hips, hips are shifting back as I reach across. And then find a little bit of rhythm to that, going from one side to the other. You should feel the stretch in your hamstring, but also perhaps through that hip as well, the outside of the hip of the straight leg. A few more. Just finding that stretch and then coming out of it. So we're keeping these stretch dynamic, not static. All right, we started on we started on the right foot back. So start with the left, end with the left foot back. Gosh, jumble of the words. Okay, next one, a knee hug. Hug it in, drop it back down. Hug it in, really push the hips forward as you hug it in. Switching side. Standing leg, you're really kind of pushing that hip forward, getting that little bit of glute activation. Just feeling the stretch through the groin. Side to side. A few more. We're going to be down on the ground next. So make sure you end on the opposite side that you started. All right. Sitting down onto the ground. Anchoring your feet flat on the ground. Come into an angle here. And then let your hands come behind your hips just so you can recline just a little bit and keep the spine long. Okay, so you've got your hands to kind of help you do that. Your feet are planted, the sole of your feet are planted, and they're almost shoulder hip apart, okay? Let your knees fall to the left and then to the right. And then fall to the left and pause. Now, most of you probably have that tendency that right hip wants to pull off. So try to push that hip to the ground and just let the knees fall. Okay, if that hip still wants to come up, it's fine. It's just creating that action of pulling that right hip to the ground when the knees are to the left. Switch sides. So again, that left hip now, try to anchor it to the ground. And now I'm going to allow you to move at your own pace. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Spine is long. And then you're just dropping knees side to side, trying to keep that opposite hip grounded. A few more. Make sure you end on the opposite side that we started, which I think we started on the right. Just end on the left. Okay, last one. I need a little bit of cushion under my knee. We're gonna come into a half kneeling position. Let's start with our left leg down and our right leg forward. So a little bit of space between the back knee and the front foot will help with balance. Now let's set yourself up. Take your front foot and inch it forward just a little bit of the knee. And then take the tailbone, stretch it down, pull the belly in, and scissor the hips together so they're square to the front. Inhale your arms up and shift your weight forward. So right here, you should feel a stretch in that left hip flexor. Now grab your left wrist with your right hand and lean to the right as your left hip pushes out to the left. So you're gonna get this now across the hip, side body, IT band. So try not to let the chest roll down. Keep that chest a little bit more rounded up. And then coming through center and then switching sides, however that looks for you. So now the right foot is, the right knee is down, left foot is forward. Inch that left foot forward just a little bit and then set it up. Scissor the hips, tailbone down, belly pulled in. Sweep the arms up and shift the weight forward. So we should be getting a nice stretch here in that right hip flexor. Now grab the right wrist with the left hand, lean your hands to the left as your hip pushes out to the right. And again, just kind of keeping that chest rotated up more than down. And then come on up to center. And we're done. Nice job, you guys. Thanks for sticking with me.